G'day everyone, welcome back to my weekly tipping video. As always, this preview is brought to you by PlayUp. If you are thinking of having a punt on the NRL this round, make sure it's through PlayUp, guys. But as always, please gamble responsibly. G'day guys, Clarkey here. Welcome back to my round 22 NRL tips and preview. Today we'll be talking everything about round 22 that is rugby league. So let's jump straight into it, guys. Thursday night, we start off with the Melbourne Storm taking on the Canberra Raiders. Straight away, I like the Melbourne Storm in this, and that's not got anything against the Raiders. It's just the fact that the Melbourne Storm have now won 17 in a row, I believe it is. And so, all things considered, I could really see the Storm running up a number here and potentially winning by 13 to 20 points. But with that being said, the Raiders do have a pretty good rivalry against the Storm. They have upset them in some finals matches before and throughout the regular season, so I wouldn't be massively shocked if the Raiders put up a good fight. I would be massively shocked if they were to get the win here. I can really see the Melbourne Storm winning this one. I believe Nelson Arso for Solomona is back for them. He is. That's a massive inclusion for them. And so is Felice Kafusi, as a matter of fact. So I can't personally see the Storm losing here. Nothing against the Raiders, guys, but this Storm team are just at another level at the moment. So I'll go ahead and tip them by 13 plus. Friday, 6 p.m, the St. George Illawarra Dragons take on the Penrith Panthers. Now, the most important thing to note in this game, Nathan Cleary has been named in the 21 jumper, but we are hearing he is set to return. So, obviously, if he plays, for me, Penrith win without a doubt. If he doesn't play, Penrith still win. So, for that reason, I sort of sit back and think, is there really any need to force his return or push him back into this side? And personally, I don't think there is. I think they'll beat the Dragons regardless. The Dragons are without Cody Ramsey and Tarek Sims. Tarek Sims being obviously a massive exclusion there for them. And the Dragons are a bit of a stray cat at the moment. They're a mixture of everything. Jack Bird's moved to fullback. Corey Norman was playing centres there a few weeks ago. And so the whole cohesion and everything that was good about this football team has just been thrown out the window as a result of the barbecue party at Paul Vaughan's, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to go the Penrith Panthers with all things considered, and I'm going to go the Penrith Panthers by 13 plus. Later that night, guys, at Suncorp Stadium, the Brisbane Broncos take on the Sydney Roosters. Now, I know the Brisbane Broncos did beat the Sydney Roosters earlier this year, but I do think there was a very specific set of circumstances within that game that really played into the Broncos' favour. Most notably, obviously, Victor Radley being sin-binned twice, yeah. If he's not sin-binned twice, then I think the Roosters going to win that one. So, with that being said, I'm going to go the Roosters this time. I think, whilst they do have some significant outs in Angus Crichton and Jared Warrior-Hargraves, they should still have enough. Dale Clockley returns to the club, guys. He'll slot straight onto the wing. Their front rows will be Isaac Liu and Taki Aho, so still very good pairing there. And the back row is Nat Butcher and Satili Tupouniua. So, obviously, with all things said, they do have some massive outs of Sydney Roosters, but from what we know this year, they are a better football team than the Brisbane Broncos. And for the Brisbane Broncos side of things, they're tinkering with their side yet again. Selwyn Cobbo is now going to play a game in the centres. I believe he was playing wing or fullback earlier this year. Happy to be proven wrong there. I could be wrong. They've changed their halves again. Albert Kelly's back at 7. Danny Levi's starting at 9, obviously, with Jake Turpin out. And so all things said and done here, guys, the Sydney Roosters are in better form. They're a better football team. They do have some massive outs, but I'll still tip the Sydney Roosters to win there. Probably 13 plus, actually. Saturday, 3 p.m. at Seabus Super Stadium, the South Sydney Rabbitohs host the Gold Coast Titans at the Titans' home ground, obviously due to the crazy COVID world we're living in. I like the Bunnies here, guys. The Bunnies sit third on the NRL ladder, and they've just looked absolutely electric of previous weeks. I mean, Cody Walker at this stage is just unstoppable. He's the best ball player in our game as it currently stands, on current form, especially throughout that last month. And although the Titans are definitely improving, and they will definitely want to win this to remain within the top 8, I just don't think, all things considered, if the South Sydney Rabbitohs are at their best, I just don't see the Titans able to compete with them. The Bunnies have a better coach in Wayne Bennett. They have a better roster. They have a more experienced roster. And they've proven that more consistently throughout this year, obviously shown by the fact they sit in third. That being said, I would like to see the Gold Coast Titans, and I would like to think they put up a good fight here. So I'll go the South Sydney Rabbitohs to win 1-12. But if they were to win 13 plus, again, I wouldn't be overly shocked. Saturday, 5:30 p.m, guys, Queensland Country Bank Stadium. The North Queensland Cowboys play host to the West Tigers. In this one, I'd probably like the Cowboys a little bit more. Both teams roller coaster seasons, up, down, and more or less impossible to accurately tip or predict how their games are going to occur. But I just look at the Tigers lineup right now. Michael Cheekham's out in the centres. I don't think that's his best position. Moses Mbye's at fullback. I don't think that's his best position. Adam Dowie and Luke Brooks should do fine there in the halves. But I just wonder... I just look at this West Tigers roster and I think, do they have the roster to compete with the best? And unfortunately, I don't think they do. Look, the Cowboys aren't the best, though. And for that reason, the Tigers are definitely within this contest. I'm going to tip the Cowboys here, guys, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm super confident. This, for me, is probably a 50-50 game. I wouldn't be too shocked if either side won. Funny one for the Cowboys. Jake Granville will make his debut in the centres. So he's played fullback this year in centres after playing, I guess, 150 straight games either off the bench at hooker. So that'll be interesting to watch. But all things considered, I'll go the Cowboys just... yeah, I'm just not sure. There's just on the Tigers at the moment. I mean, I could probably pick apart a ton of things. I don't want to do that. But James Tarmo, last week he came out and said that he is taking personal responsibility. He promises to rise to a new level. He's going to set the example for the Tigers. Something of that effect. I think on the weekend he had 4 hit-ups of 40 metres. And he's, one of their most experienced players. So I'll tip the Cowboys here. Tigers are favourites. If Tigers win, I'm not shocked. On the Sunshine Coast Stadium, guys, at 7:35 p.m. Saturday night, the Manly Sea Eagles will take on the Parramatta Eels. I like the Sea Eagles in this one. I probably like the Sea Eagles by 13+. They're just in some blistering form at the moment. I know they did lose to the Melbourne Storm last week by 10 points, but, I mean, it's the Melbourne Storm. And I just look at this Eels team and where they're at in their season, and it's just reminding me a lot of past seasons. There are some issues at this club when it comes to when it matters. The Eels are the sort of team that will smash you in round 1 by 40 points when it doesn't matter, and then lose to you by 1 point when it does matter in the finals. There's just something about this team that they can't seem to get over the hump every single year. And they've got a great coach. They've got a great roster. They recruited really well this year. I've seen a lot of talk the Parramatta Eels haven't recruited well, and I can't see how that's true when Tom Uppercheck was in talks for a Queensland jumper this year. And he's on a cut price deal. And Isaiah Papali'i is basically second in the NRL for all attacking stats across all forwards. Only David Fafita, who's on 1.3 mil, and Papali'i is on like 150k. So all things considered, and when you take value for money into it, Papali'i is by far the best forward in the NRL you could have on your roster at this stage. And so I think comments around the Parramatta Eels are unfair, but I think they might struggle a little bit without Reid Marnie. So I'll go the Manly Sea Eagles there. I'm not sure how this one will go. I'll say 13+, but if it is a 1-12 game, I'm also not surprised. Sunday, 1:50 p.m. at Moreton Daily Stadium, the New Zealand Warriors take on the Canterbury Bulldogs. I probably like the Warriors in this one. The Warriors are on a 2-game winning streak, which is really unexpected as to when you look at where their season was at with Lisa Narmau leaving, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck left. 2 weeks ago, Matt Lodge, Adam Fanua-Blake were out. Chad Townsend's still out. When you look at this Warriors team and where they're at, the fact they're winning games right now is incredible. I will tip them here. I'm really liking watching Ewan Aitken in the back row, and I think Josh Curran's also playing some great footy. For the Bulldogs, they'll have Ryan James and Corey Horsburgh on loan deals, so that'll be interesting as to how they sort of slot in. But I think all things considered, as I scroll past both teams' rosters right now and look at current form, I probably do like the Warriors here. Bulldogs have been really improving, I thought, in the last couple of games, so I'll just go the Warriors 1-12 here, but I do think the Warriors should be able to win there. Sunday, 4 p.m, guys, to close out the round, the Cronulla Sharks take on the Newcastle Knights, also at Moreton Daily Stadium. I'm with the Knights here, actually. I think the Knights are in a hot bit of form, and it's just due to the fact that Jake Clifford's playing great footy. Ponga and Pearce are playing together finally after being in and out all year due to injuries. I think Knights are a real team that, if everyone stays healthy, they can make the top 8, and they probably can upset someone in the finals. I'm not sure how deep they could go, but I could definitely see them springing an upset. So when I look at this game, I'm going to go the Newcastle Knights. I'm going to go the Newcastle Knights 1-12 because I have been impressed with the Sharks lately. So I think it will be a close one. But I just think the Knights are in a little bit better form, and they've got some key players that are back from injury and only improving with each game. So just to recap, guys, I'll just quickly go over my tips for this round one more time. I'm with the Storm, Panthers, Roosters, Rabbitohs, Cowboys, Seagulls, Warriors, and Knights. That wraps up my round 22 NRL tipping. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week with my round 23 preview. Thank you.